Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Fame with Tiffany Renee. If you've been here before, welcome. If you are new, welcome as well. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. If you're new, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos or make new posts. I am coming to you from my car. I just pulled up to one of my favorite places ever, Goodwill. I love Goodwill so much. So I'm going to be browsing around in there for a little bit. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know that I am doing coaching still. I have resources and so many different services that are on my website. I will put the link in the description box below if YouTube will let me do it this time. And also, let me know what you guys think. I want to start creating vision boards for people, like just small little digital vision boards that you can just kind of keep on your phone. I did one, I was inspired to do one for a friend of mine, and I just felt like, you know what? She does a lot of like her own version of like posting things, and I can tell these are things that she really wants. Let me put it all together on one vision board for her, and she loved it, and she posted it and everything. So I love doing them. I love the whole process of the photoshopping and the putting things together. And so if you want a vision board put together for you, a little digital phone size vision board, please let me know and I will add that as a service to my website. Let me know how you feel about that. And I'm also going to create a narrative to go along with it. It'll be like a chat GPT narrative. So I will create affirmations or create a storyline based off of what your vision board is about, and I will have ChatGPT create an actual story as if you've already manifested those things. So it'll be a package. You can get the vision board by itself, or you can get the whole package together. So let me know if you're interested in that. Leave me a comment in the description, or yeah, leave a comment in the comment section. Okay, this is an impromptu video because I was doing something before I was getting ready to come out. I was touching up my nails, and I was listening to something on YouTube, and it was like a tarot or something that I was listening to, and the reader said something that sparked something, a thought process in my mind. So did Tom Karen. Be Something Wonderful. You know I love him. He had a recent video where he talked about this same thing. We had Mindset Monday last Monday, and Roxy had mentioned something about this as well. We also had a masterclass with her about just reigniting that flame of desire inside of you, etc., etc. And the fact that these things keep coming up, it lets me know that I have to examine this. This is something in my life right now. On the 15th of November, the full moon, the new moon is starting. So there's a new cycle that I think the universe wants me to look at that needs to be addressed so it can then be complete. And that is about betrayal. Just the word sounds heavy, right? Betrayal, not being betrayed by others, but betrayal of the self, your own personal betrayal. And I want to talk about this because I really had to sit and think about this. It came up as I was listening to this thing. I can't even remember what she said, but I was like, this feels like betrayal. Like, she was talking about how you have to kind of like put yourself first and you have to ask yourself what you really want. This other woman who I follow on YouTube. Her name is Jennifer. I cannot remember her last name. She's a black lady. She has really short hair, and she, I think the name of her channel was like the like wounded black mothers or something like that, like how to heal black mother wounds and things like that. So, but her content is valuable. So even if you don't have a black mom, I would recommend her channel. And she talked about the inner child, asking yourself, how is your inner child doing? And it dawned on me that I don't ask my inner child anything very often. I've done meditations to try to heal the inner child, to try to comfort my inner child, but I don't just check in with my inner child regularly. And I probably should be doing that, because my inner child has been very wounded. And because of things in my life that I experienced as a child, I know there's been a lot of consequences. Like Arrested Development has been a big one. A lot of my trauma started at the age of 6 and really got heavy at 8, and really, really heavy, from the ages of 9 to 15, and then still continued in other ways well into my 20s and even in my 30s, if I'm being honest. So my inner child has been battling severe wounds, not just from physical things that happen, but emotional, heavy emotional and mental trauma and psychological trauma. And that's the part that has been the hardest, I would say, for me to acknowledge or to have a conversation with my inner child about, and because I don't know how to apologize for it, like I apologize for the role that I'm playing as an adult. I can always do better. I can always be doing more. And a lot of the choices that I made, I realize they were not being made by the adult me, but they were being made by the inner child me. And because a lot of those choices came from the wounded little me, they were not great. The consequences of those choices were not great for adult me. Do you see what I mean? And just getting to that space where I can tell my little self, hey, we're grown now, and your reactions are valid and they're understandable, but they are not serving us where we are right now. And the only way I can do that is to get my little child to trust me, right? Because my little child doesn't trust adults. Do you see what I mean? So you see the caveat with that. And therefore, I recognize that there are aspects of me where I don't trust adults. And I don't mean, because I think I really am a very trusting individual, but I think the parts that I don't trust is commitment and consistency, and feeling safe and secure. It's those things that are the mistrusting parts. So I recognize that my little self has issues with trusting that she is safe, trusting that she is protected, trusting that no one is out to get her simply for existing, which was very much my experience as a child. Just being, just all types of horrendous things transpiring just because I was alive, just because I existed and I was in the building, I was in the room, I was in the house. You know what I mean? So none of it was my fault. And I know that now. But as a kid, You don't know that it's not your fault. You assume that it's your fault. And so you also don't trust you. You don't think that you're lovable. You think something's wrong with you, and you start to justify being mistreated. You justify not feeling safe. You justify feeling insecure and all these things. You know what I mean? So I recognize that all of that is a form of, it's the catalyst. It was the catalyst for my own personal self-betrayal. And while, yes, I acknowledge I've been betrayed by many people in my life experience, people who I know and people who I don't know, family, friends, strangers, coworkers, it doesn't matter. Even people, if you want to go as far as, like government and whatever policies, blah, blah. Yes, I think most people have experienced some sense of betrayal in their life. This particular type of betrayal, the self-betrayal, it really dawned on me that I've literally been betraying myself because of boundaries. Boundaries. I never had a real conversation about boundaries and the importance of having boundaries until I was in my early 30s. Right? Like 31 or 32 years old, I had a conversation with one of my best friends, and she brought up boundaries. And I never had a conversation about my own boundaries. I didn't even think I had any. I'm like, do I have boundaries? Am I entitled to have boundaries? Like, really? So you can imagine that all throughout my childhood, my teenage years, and my early adult life, my boundaries were non-existent. I didn't even know what boundaries were, because my boundaries had been like just demolished and non-existent since I was a child. Like, people were constantly overstepping, constantly disregarding my boundaries, and just doing and saying all types of things to me that it's like, no, that's a hard no. Like, you don't do that to people. You don't do that to kids. You don't do that to teenagers. You don't do that to adults, like whatever. So because I didn't know how to assert my boundaries, because I had no idea what boundaries were, I didn't even think I had any, and it was obvious, it left me wide open to be taken advantage of a lot. And I definitely was. And in certain areas I still am, but we're working on that. We're working on that. So I recognize that every time I don't enforce a boundary that I'm now establishing, that's a form of self-betrayal. I'm betraying myself again. I'm doing the same thing that people had done to me in the past. And it's like, who needs an outside influence to betray you, to invalidate you, to not root for you, to be very harsh and critical of you? Who needs an outside source when you are the one who's doing it to you? When you turned against yourself, everyone is you pushed out. When you turn against yourself, the whole world turns against you because it has no choice. It is a direct mirror of who and what you really are. And if who you really are internally, vibrationally, on the inside, what you truly believe about yourself is all of these things: I'm unlovable, I'm not good enough, I'm always in danger, I'm not safe, I'm always bullied, I'm always a target, I'm never appreciated, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too stupid, I'm not this, I'm not that, and whatever. I'm not as good as my siblings or other family members, or, my parents favored this sibling because I'm too this or I'm too that, blah, blah, blah. And you truly believe those things. God has forsaken me because, I'm not holy enough, or I'm not whatever enough, right? I'm not pious enough. All of those things, you literally are running and they're activating your 3D reality. And so the entire world around you, from the type of clothes you choose to wear, from the type of shows you resonate with, from even your governing states, countries, whatever, the way your family interacts with you, the way your friend, the type of friends that you have, that you call into your life, the type of romantic relationships you start to have, all of that is a direct reflection of all of those things that you're telling yourself. All of that is a form of self-betrayal. You are betraying who you really are. We are betraying who we really are when we do that. And we can talk about it. We can, fake it. You know what I mean? And pretend and put on these masks and put on this show that we're so amazing. We're so confident. We know we're this and this and this and this. But as soon as you're by yourself, it's like, okay, I'm taking off that mask. Okay, because I'm worthless. I'm horrible. I'm ugly. No one cares about me. No one loves me. Blah, 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 blah. The world hates me. It's dangerous. It's this. I'm not safe. I'm blah, blah, blah. That's your truth. You know what I mean? And if that's your truth, you're completely betraying who you really are, which is the I am, which is all that is, which is a direct extension of the creator, of infinite intelligence, of pure consciousness, the purest form of love that could possibly exist. That is what we are. We are perfect. We are all things because we were created as perfect. And just like a drop, like Rumi said, a drop of the ocean is not separate from the ocean. A drop of the ocean is the entire ocean. The entire ocean is in that one drop. All of consciousness, all of infinite intelligence, all of God, if you like that term, is in us. We are the drop, right? So there is nothing unholy about any of us. There is nothing that's not perfect about any of us unless we say that it is. And we say that it is through a multitude of circumstances. For me, a lot of it was just childhood trauma, growing up how I grew up, listening to what I was listening to, like being berated with being told that I was less than, and growing up to believe that I was less than because there wasn't enough power or enough oomph to contradict what I had already accepted to be true from when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So I say this because I actually asked my inner child today when I was driving here, are you okay? How are you today? How are you feeling? And the things that came up brought me to tears. Like, I was crying right up until I press recorded this video. Okay. It brought me to tears. And like, one of the things that really hit me was when little me said that I just want to go back to God. I just want to be with God, because with God, I can eat ice cream and eat chocolate and watch cartoons and watch Reading Rainbow, and I can just be with God and be safe. And that broke my heart, really. The fact that my inner child would rather return back to the light than to still be in part of this physical body. It's heartbreaking, because that showed me that I must be failing her. And so I promised that I would do better. Because just like the lady Jennifer on YouTube said, she's like, why don't you check in with yourself? Why don't you ever check in with your inner child? We want other people to check in with us. We even check in with other people. It's like, but why don't you check in with yourself? Why are you not asking yourself, are you okay today? How are you feeling? What do you need today? What can I do to make you feel better? What can I do to make you happy today? Or what can I do to make myself happy that will in turn bring joy to my inner child? What can I do? How am I okay? And what can I personally do, no matter how small it is, to make me feel okay? Because I'm not okay today. I don't feel okay. But I love going to Goodwill. So I drove to Goodwill. It's cloudy. It's been raining for the last couple of days. I don't care. I came out to come to Goodwill to feel better. And then I'm going to go to the Dollar Tree across the street and I'm going to buy candy. And I'm going to go to Kroger and maybe, I don't know, get something from the bakery or whatever. And I am going to eat my little treats. And I'm going to feel gratitude for that. Because I'm going to feel satisfied. Do you see what I mean? Very juvenile, but I don't care. Just looking around at Goodwill, looking at what little bits and bobs they have and going to get me a little treat. That's what I'm doing today. Because that's what I feel like I need to do today. I touched up my nails. I did my laundry. So this is how I'm going to end my day. Tom Karen always says this. I don't remember where he is quoting it from. I don't know if it's from A Course in Miracles, that book. I'm not sure. But he says it a lot. He says this quote where God cannot give you what you refuse to give yourself. And I really thought about that when I was thinking about this boundaries thing. My 3D reality does not always reflect back to me people honoring my boundaries or doing things that I don't consider a betrayal. My 3D doesn't always reflect that back to me. And I recognize now that it is because I haven't learned to stop doing it to myself. If anyone on the outside of me is disrespecting my boundaries or disregarding my boundaries or betraying me in any capacity, it is because I am still betraying myself in that area. Or because I am not honoring I'm not enforcing my own boundaries in that area. That's all it is, because everyone is us pushed out. Literally, our entire individual worlds are our own individual reflections of who we are on the inside, reflecting outward. And this was a hard pill to swallow, right? Because no one likes to be told that, well, it's you and you got to take accountability for you. You know what I mean? You have to take accountability for the world around you, because the world around you is not going to change. It's going to stay the same until you choose a different world to experience, until you choose a different timeline or a different reality or a different version of you, because all of them exist. So right now I can see that I am on a timeline where I am not honoring my boundaries. I'm not the version of me who is honoring my own boundaries and who stopped self-betraying, even in terms of, things that I want to do with my life, with my career, things I want to experience and all of that. Even when it comes to that, I haven't been honoring myself. I haven't been really doing the things that bring me joy, because I've been afraid that they're going to sound crazy or they're going to look stupid or I'm too old or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Self-betrayal. because I end up doing something that's just like soul sucking to me. It's like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's like, but why did you choose it then? You chose it because logically it sounded like this is the best thing for you to do. This is what grown people do. And it ended up just sucking the life force out of me. Do you see what I mean? Self-betrayal. So if I can't shower myself with love and compassion and give myself praise and give myself grace and enforce my own boundaries and honor myself as a living being, as an extension of the cosmos, as an extension of consciousness, if I can't do all of that to myself, then how in the hell can I expect anybody else in my 3D to give me that too? They can't. They don't have, it's impossible. They will only give me the amount that I have been able to give myself. So if I can only give myself 35% of grace, then the world can only reflect back to me 35% of grace being given. Whether directly to me, to family, to friends, to the country, to the government, whatever. I will only see evidence of 35% of grace. Because that's what I believe I can only get, or I'm only deserving of that, or that's the best that I can currently do. And that's fine. You are where you are, blessed. You know what I mean? We are where we are. But awareness of where we are, to me, is key, because that then, that gives you a stepping stone, because you now know where to go from there. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I did not mean for it to be almost 30 minutes long, but here we are. So I just wanted to get that off my chest and just tell you that something my spirit guides told me, it is paramount that you become your own best friend. Not your spouse, not your significant other, not your kids, not your family, not your outside friends. You. We have to be our own best friend first. We have to champion for us first as individuals. Because the better relationship, the healthier relationship, the safer relationship we have with ourselves, the better and safer and more harmonious and loving relationships we have with the entire world. And our entire world will reflect back to us how much we love and champion and honor ourselves. If we don't value ourselves that much, then our entire world is going to show up undervalued. We're going to see evidence of people and ourselves being undervalued. So that is a form of self-betrayal. The world betrays us because we betray us. So if you've been struggling with this, let this be a sign that we're going to affirm right here and right now. We are now the versions of ourselves who honor our boundaries and walk in our own self-love and self-reassurance. We are safe. It is safe to be us. And we are immune to betrayal. Period. Because we are. We are all that is. We are pure love. We are pure consciousness. We dictate our reality, and we are now the best versions of ourselves that love ourselves and honor ourselves because we are. Period. That's just it. Because you are. You don't need to come up with some long logical reason because you are. I am that because I am. I am that now because I am. We are that now because we are. We are now the versions of ourselves that we want to be. And that includes versions of ourselves who love ourselves, who honor ourselves, who champion for ourselves, and who respect our own boundaries. And we don't take no mess. Like, ain't nobody coming in disrupting our peace and betraying us because we are no longer betraying ourselves. I'm done. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you all so much. Love you, and I'll see you next time.